Hello. It says I'm live, and I don't know. This is the first time I'm doing this, so we shall see how it turns out. I'm going to have to learn a few things about this and see how it goes. So I wanted to do something because I'm not exactly finding with everyone exactly what I was hoping would be out there. So, you know, when you don't find something, then you have to do it yourself. So I'm going to do it myself. And what I'd like to start is a preparation for hopefully an upcoming conference for activism, a seminar, a workshop, a conference. Some of the guys that I've been talking to are, this is kind of in the works. So we're thinking of doing this, and I was asked to do part of it. And I know this is all very preliminary. So I'm not like holding anybody to anything, and none of us should. We should all be very flexible. And hi. So we're going to be very flexible and forgiving, and we're going to work together. And that's how we're going to get this done. We can't be negative. We can't be infighting. We can't be criticizing to the point where it's going to discourage someone. I recently put out a mission statement. Okay. Now, I'll have you know, for all of you who have wanted to rip it to shreds, and you know who you are, because I was notified of that today, and I thought it was very interesting. First off, I don't consider the people who ripped it to shreds as activists. So it might be understandable that they don't understand the purpose of the mission statement. But all of us who do, and I'm not paying attention to the chat right now, so forgive me for not responding. But all of us who do understand activism and understand what motivates us to do that, you will, I can't imagine why you wouldn't totally agree with that mission statement. This is not about meetups. This is not about parties. This is not about, really not about like socializing. Although those things are not bad, those things are not negative. They're just not activism. They are just not out there red pilling or enlightening the masses, turning the light bulbs on in the population, awakening them. That is a different thing altogether. So I think there are groups and people, there are people within the flat earth community that have their niche, that have their special gifts. And I'm going to call it a gift because I think most of the activists I know realize that they were given something. And I always teach that I go to the edge of Antarctica, and what you can imagine past that is your own personal thing. And on the same lines, I'm going to also acknowledge that we were given a gift. We were allowed to know this. It's a consciousness. It's an awakening. And something like that is not man-made. I don't know what those in the flat earth community who think that they they did this on their own, or I don't know where that comes from. But for me and a lot that I know, they realized that it was a gift. Something was given to them. And the activists were, as I said in the mission statement, the activists were chosen for this mission. When you are chosen for a mission, you have a sense of humility and a sense of awareness and a sense of what motivates you, the love that you are going to share with others. So for all of you who don't understand that, I don't know, were you beaten into submission to accept flat earth? I just don't hear any of those kind of testimonies coming from anyone, that someone held you down and beat you until you said, okay, I'm a flat earther. So didn't you come to that understanding, that knowledge? And that's what we think, is that it was a gift. It was given to us, and we are blessed by having that knowledge. And so when you are given a gift like that, it fills your emptiness and you overflow with this desire to share it with others. And this is who the activists really are. Now, there are some who think it is a tool that you can wield like a sword and take down the establishment and get out of this prison and cage. Okay. At some point, it may come to that, but we are not there. And until that day comes, and we do not know the day nor the hour, and until that day and hour come, we must share, and we must be on our mission to share the good news of the flat earth. So that is how I approach all of this. And that is how I can go out and go to these colleges and be laughed at and mocked. And the last college I was at, this one guy stood up in front of the banners. They all try to take over, you know. Then I tell them, well, you know, you can get your own banners and go down there and preach whatever you want. But even this one guy, he was really big, taller, much taller. And so he gave a little speech and said, oh, do I hear an amen? You know, and I'm sure you've seen that video. I just stood back and watched him. And I prayed for him silently and said, you know, he's going to come down someday. And I pray he has a soft landing, because the bigger they are, the harder they fall. So the more they fight this, the more they object and mock, it is going to be harder for them when they realize it. So we must feel compassion for those people. We must love them more. So the reason I have come on today, and I don't know how long this is going to be, when I run out of air, I guess, because I don't have anybody on here with me, and I'm going to figure out how I can do a hangout and invite guests on. And they will be the people in the front line. And we will be talking about personal experiences on the front line, how to interact, how to engage the globalist, how to engage with different types of people. This is what I would like to accomplish. I would also like to investigate and train up new people to go out. I think a lot of the obstacles have been overcome already because I didn't have banners. That was my very first obstacle. I needed a teaching tool. And in order to get that teaching tool, I had to design a banner, and flatearth101.com, Dave really was very critical in helping get that banner together. And we did another set of banners, and now it is almost to completion, a personal banner. It's 2 feet wide by 5 feet high, and this is something anyone can take out and just walk around with it. The banners that I have now, the first set, you had to stand them up, and those were the ones in Ocean City. And you had to stand them up and like lean them against a post. They are freestanding because we had them down in Center City, Philadelphia, freestanding. But they are to be seen from a great distance. So the Ocean City Boardwalk was perfect for that. It's very wide and people across the way can look and see them. My 4 foot wide, 5 foot high banners that I carry around on my little granny cart. I call it a granny cart. It's a little, one of those little wire shopping carts that people in the city use when they walk to the grocery store. We don't walk to the grocery store here. I'm in the suburbs, so it's several miles to go to the grocery store. But I got one of those little carts, and I mount them on the sides, and I can go anywhere with them. I can go on a boardwalk. I can go down sidewalks. I go through Skipback when they have events there. It's a little town near me that has craft shows, etc. So those banners are great. If you have a spot that you can set up, because I can take them apart, fold them in half, and stick them in or carry them. They're very lightweight. So those are very good banners too. And that's what I've taken to the colleges. But this personal banner that I am promoting is, Dave made up one very quickly to go to the conference. And Joshua Swift, who's Authentic Intent, he taught a class out there and he gave away one of those banners. I think only one. I'm not sure how many. But those are very inexpensive. You can get them with or without a stand. So you could carry it with you. It's very lightweight. I think it's $60 with the stand. So without the stand, it should be much less. I don't know exactly what he's going to price it. So check that out on flatearth101.com. There is also a lot of other activism tools there. We have the cards, which I also designed. The postcards I designed, because those were taken from the little 4 cards in one piece of paper. Let me see if here's a piece of paper, and I put 4 cards on there, and then I got a little paper cutter, a laptop paper cutter for $12 at the Staples store. And I would run them off on my computer down the one side, then you flip it over and you run it through again down the other side. That's how I did it. And then you cut it this way with this paper cutter, and you've got, in no time, you run off 25 sheets, you have 100 cards. So I had the information on the cards, and we transferred that to the postcard and even modified it one other time. So that's what we have now on the 4x6 postcards. And we call them postcards because you can send them in the mail. If you get a label, here, like these, I don't know if you can see it, if it's too bright or not. Does that help? Probably not. So if you have these little labels, you can stick a label on, one for the address, one in the upper right-hand corner for the stamp so they can cancel it, and then put one on the back with a message. Or you don't have to put one on the back. But they are removable. They do not leave any marks. So then they have, on the front, they have the flat earth map. So if you are shut in, just get a bunch of those postcards and start sending them out. On the bottom, oh, phooey. Do I have one here? Phooey, let me go get one. 1 second. I'm so sorry. But I wanted to show you. And that's silly that I didn't have this. Sometimes the conversation takes a different turn. So here's the flat. Earth is flat. Now, we used to have research flat Earth on there. Oh, let me see if I can find one of those. Ah, here we go. This is what we used to have on the top here. And at one point, Dave and I were talking about it, and we said, you know, we should just go to Earth is flat and make a statement instead of a plea. And that was why the change. See, if you're saying, oh, research flat Earth, it's like, oh, come on, guys, please do it. No, Earth is flat. And imagine that. And then down here at the bottom is the website. And there they have a picture of the best flat Earth map we have. Okay. So I often, in my talks, when I'm out teaching, I'll use this. When they say, especially if I'm not standing directly in front of the banners, sometimes the kids or people, whoever, wherever I'm at, they will go and stand in front of the banners and read it. And then I really can't get to it. When I was at the Montgomery County Community College, there must have been 50 kids there, and they hung around. And it was, I was like drawn back to other, like, there was like little groups forming all around. They were having discussions. It was so wonderful. I can't tell you how I felt. It was like they were just like so into this. And the fact that you can give them facts, something to really chew on. So anyway, I take my little cards here and I hand them out, and then I'm away from the banners and I can tell them, well, look at this, look at that. This, you know, the sun movement, you can tell them. You can tell them about Antarctica. You can tell them about flights, the flight paths. You can tell them about the sun movements on the tropics. There's a lot you can do with this map on this card. And so here you go. I'll just show you then. Oh, and this is not very, I put it on much better. But this is how you do the postcard. Then you put the stamp up here, and then they can cancel it, right? And then here's where you put the address. Okay. So then the back, I had one that I sent to my relatives. And if you look for a video, Activism Tools, and there's a picture of my printer, because I had set it up a program to print these labels out on this sheet. And then I had all the addresses printed out. It was very nice. And I had a message printed out to them. And the message said, please watch this video. And it tells you about what happened at our last gathering. And I put the video on there about relatives, Flat Earth PA - relatives. And I send it to my relatives. So you have to be bold. You have to stick to your guns. Never, never, never back off. Never. If you show one sign of weakness, they will devour you. It is an instinctual thing. Just stand your ground. You do not have to be mean. You do not have to be nasty at all. You don't. Just standing there with your mouth shut, not moving, not flinching, allowing them to dig their own hole. This will teach you so much about human nature, and it will be an amazing, growing, learning experience for you. If you have never done anything like this before, then come on this journey with me. Come on this journey, and we will go together, and we will learn, and we will get back our society where there was truth ruling amongst us. There was a time when it was understood that everyone should be truthful and honest. And that changed. That changed. When I was young, I think there was a sense of everyone was taught to be good. Okay. But now it just seems so different. And not just now, but when I was 20, it seemed to, and what year would that have been? 70s. In the 70s. Well, what happened? We had Woodstock and drugs, and I think there was like the sexual revolution and all that, and it really changed our society for the worse. There was no self-control. It was a free-for-all. And I think society is much better when we have respect for each other. So let's get back to talking to each other. Let's get back to social discourse. You know, the original meaning of the word intercourse means to have verbal interaction. There's a little town here in Pennsylvania called Intercourse. And, you know, when we're kids and we drive through there, we go, what? You know, but no. It's an Amish town. And, of course, they are very strict about that sort of thing. So, yeah, it was different. So let's get back to reaching out to our neighbors. And who is your neighbor? Whoever you meet on the street. Hitting the streets, talking to strangers. And it's a good thing to talk to strangers. There's towns you can go to where everybody says hello. There are places you go where nobody even makes eye contact. And that's very sad. Most of the big cities are that way. But isn't Philadelphia supposed to be the city of brotherly love? Yeah. So this is the Research Flat Earth cards, the smaller ones, which are much less expensive. And you know what you can do? You can stick a sticker on there if you want. But on the other side, I just love this picture. Okay, I love that picture. My personal opinion is that we live in a crystalline sphere, okay? Because that is the geometric form. It's a continuous arc. And that will hold back the water. It's, you know, it's like a perfect spherical egg. you can't hold one in your hand and just crush it because of the way it's constructed. And that is, I think the flat plane, if this dome were to continue down and around, that's what I think it is. Do I think there's more land? Well, everybody asks me that, and a lot of people think it's beyond Antarctica. I don't know. I think once you flatten out the Earth, once you go from the ball to the flat plane, there's a whole lot more ocean over here in the Pacific that I don't think we're allowed to go to. So maybe it's there. Maybe there's some land there. I don't know. That's all speculation, and I don't ever teach speculation. And when you're out there teaching, and I say teaching because that's what you have to do. You have to teach at least 3 facts in order for someone to have enough interest to look into it. So teach those 3 facts. And you know what? If they start getting into a debate or a disagreement, or they want to argue with you, just say, I'm sorry. I am not allowed to argue, or I am not going to argue, or I'm not going to debate. This is not a debate. If you want to know, just look it up. And I have done that with people. Sometimes they want to argue and tell you what they know. Well, I've already been there. Someone made fun of my age today. I find that fascinating. I will go one-on-one with you if that's what you really want. And I have worked very hard all my life, and I don't think anybody deserves that. You know, saying that there's something negative about being my age. You know what? Don't go there. And you know, if all of you activists out there, if there is someone in your life who is negative like that, who is petty and prejudiced, get them out of your life. Don't watch them. Don't listen to them. Don't do any of that sort of thing with them. They are not worth your time. Really. Anyone who would be like that, I don't have time for. I'm sorry. Don't have time. I'm going to look for the people who were meant to hear this message. And those people are those who, when you say flat earth, they have a puzzled look on their face and they go, what? What's that? Like, you know, right away. And so what you should do is just don't let, you know, just, what's the phrase? Brush the dust off your feet and move on. There are a lot of people out there who want to hear this message and who are honest and sincere and don't have prejudices like that and don't want to destroy and don't want to put other people down, especially when they're on the same team. Aren't we all in this together? Aren't we all going to further flat earth news and information and wake up the population? Isn't that what we want to do? If you don't want to do that, then why are you calling yourself a flat earther? Why? I don't know. So what else? Oh, so if you want to talk to me, if you want to get involved in being a guest, I will entertain having you speak with me as soon as I figure out how to do the 2 people thing. And I think it's through the Google Hangouts, and I haven't done that yet. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to figure out how to have a guest on or whatnot. And then I will have you on. But you must agree to the mission statement. If you don't want to agree to the mission statement, then I don't want to really associate with you. I want people who are serious, people who are willing to sacrifice some of their time, and people who are not going to make a joke out of flat Earth. Flat Earth to me is very much within me. So if you're going to make a joke of flat Earth, then you're going to make a joke of me, and I don't want to go there. I don't want you in my life. So if you want to be part of this, then send me an email, marilynteed@yahoo.com. Marilyn Teed, one word, @yahoo.com. And I will try and set up a time. This is not going to be held to any specific time, but set up a time where the guest and I can mutually agree on a time, and then we will have a discussion, and we'll go over some specifics. Now, this person hopefully will have had some experience. And we're going to talk about how to get started in activism, some of the tools you might need, how to get them, and how to deal with the public. And we might, it's not a matter of always, sometimes you stand your ground, but then there's sometimes when you should move. And we'll discuss all those types of situations that you'll be in when you are out there on the streets. So this is what I want to do. And there will be no mocking. There will be no negativity. That's done for. We are going to be supportive and encouraging and do the best we can, because it's difficult, but it's also very, very rewarding. So those are the things that I don't want you to miss out on. And I'm sorry, I have not been paying attention to the chat, but I have seen a couple of names there. And I'm so happy that you decided to join the chat, and I will look at it later. Does anyone really have a question right now? Put it in all capital letters and put it up on the chat, and I'll try to look at a question if anyone has a question. So what else do I have? Oh, I wanted to talk to you a little bit while you're getting your question together. I have some things on my channel which are good tools that you'll need. You'll need to have information. And this information that you will need is in the matter of knowing your free speech rights. Okay. Now, I have two channels, and I'm sorry. One is Marilyn Spirit Level, and that was the first channel I ever had. But then when I wanted to upload it through my phone, when I had this camera on my phone, an old phone that it's not connected, okay, I had to sign up with a Gmail account. So in order for that to happen, I had to get a Gmail email, and then I had to have a Gmail YouTube. And it's very easy to do that now. I can upload right from that phone, and there's no problem with that. So just understand why there's two accounts. I try to put my content on both channels equally, but it might have a different name. And I think this one video that I'm talking about right now does have a different name on either account. It's free speech. And so the one might say Flat Earth PA dash Twitter. because that was the original video that I uploaded. It was a Twitter video, and they were talking about going into the malls. And that's a very interesting topic, because now that there's winter here in Pennsylvania, we have to go where the weather is not a factor in our activism. You can't hold someone's attention when it's freezing cold out, or it's raining, or the snow is blowing in their face. It's just not good. So going into the malls is a great thing. Now, I have been talking to some malls, and what you will find is if you're in New Jersey or if you're in California, they have a right to access law, which says that you are allowed to go into the malls. Now, I have contacted some malls, and there is an application process. Now, you're going to say, well, why do we need to do that when it's free speech? Okay. All right. So here's your choice. You can work with the mall and come to an agreement, or you can just go in there like a bull in a china shop. You can set up, you can lip off to the security. They can call the police. You can tell the police to go pound sand, and you'll be hauled off to the pokey or the jail, whatever you want to call it. And then you'll have all of that to go through. Now, there are some people who have done that on other free speech causes and issues. I cannot afford to go into jail because I take care of my mother, my 91-year-old mother. So I'm not going to do that. I am going to instead work with the malls to come to an agreement. And I think that's going to work out just fine. It's going to do just fine. I will get there. I will set up my banners, because my banners together take up no more than one table. So they can't really object to that, can they? We shall see. But that's the course that I have chosen. And I think that you should be able to do that no matter what state you're in. I am working with 2 or 3 malls right now. So let's try it that way. If you have another way that you want to do it, you want to go be the loudmouth, then go ahead and do it. That's your right to do that. You can do that. And you might be a hero to many of us like 2 years from now. But right now, I want to get in the malls today. I want to be in those malls next week. I have one commitment from one mall, and they will have a response for me within 2 weeks. And that should be in like 10 days from now. So I will know something that soon. I'm not going to have to be locked away and start a lawsuit and all that. So all it takes is a little bit of humility and a little bit of talking to them like they deserve respect, treating them the way you want to be treated. And if you do that, you will get some sort of response. In fact, the man that I spoke to in the one mall, he said, well, you sound very reasonable. So I'm going to get you an answer in 2 weeks. And I said, I know how it is. I am not going to go into your mall with a bullhorn. I am not going to be shouting. In fact, I'm going to be standing very quietly and allow people to come to me. And he really liked that idea. But in order to do that, you have to have some sort of information that people who are walking down the aisles in the mall, on the walk paths, they are going to have to be able to see you from across the mall, and they'll see some key words. On my banners, those key words are lies and censor. And I put them directly at the top, right in the middle. You can't miss them. And that's why I designed it that way. So they can be seen, and they're in red. And the other letters are in blue. And there's a white background. So it gives a sense of what Americans call patriotism. They are inviting colors. These colors are great for a billboard. They work great on a billboard. You can't miss it. But those colors are not inviting. Those colors do not speak, come to me and speak and have a conversation. These colors say, let me burn this on your retina. And that's what it does. And you can't get that picture out of your eyes for a while. But that for every purpose, there is a way of doing it. Okay. So my colors are more inviting, and you'll see that on the banners. When you look at them, you'll see them. I didn't want to have the blacks and the yellows. I wanted something that was going to say, come and speak to me. So take a look at those banners. And where was I? Oh, yes. Back to the videos on free speech. You will see that in the free speech videos, it says the man speaking is from Twitter, or is he? Yes. And he's calling the Twitter a public square. He's saying that Twitter is censoring some of the information because it doesn't have a conservative message. So they kind of censor that stuff. And he's saying that Twitter cannot censor things because that is an electronic public square. It's free for people to come and share their opinions and ideas. And that is the definition of a public square. If you had to pay to get into some place, then it's not really considered a public square because you have to pay to get in. So if there was a cover charge at the mall, then that would be a different story, I would think. But there's not. They want you to come in free of charge, walk around, window shop, just like it was a town. And that is why it is a public square. So people gather there. So on this public square is a very important phrase to know. And that's what you must also say if someone were to approach you. Say, I am in the public square. And also, when you look at the video, in the description, I have pasted in there the 13 court cases that you will have to know. Now, you don't have to memorize these. I even had them on my phone when the 2 policemen came to me at the local park. And the place that I've had the most trouble is my local park. That's only 2 miles from me. And I mean, I grew up riding my bicycle there. It's really ridiculous. They took out the swimming pool, so that's no longer an attraction there. But they have events. And when they have an event, they don't want anybody to be doing anything like free speech because they have vendors that pay to be there. Now, when I set up my little banner, it's right at the entrance where people walk in. And that is a good, I would say it's a football field away from the concert and the other vendors. So I'm just right at the entrance. I'm not like involved in the event. I'm not there at halftime. I'm not there when they take their intermission. I'm only getting the people coming in. And they gave me such a terrible time. And even at other events, but they have not arrested me. They tried to make it look as though I was doing something wrong by hanging around there. And you know, when the police come and they just like hang around, you know, they they kind of look like you're doing something wrong. And then the people see that and they avoid it. And that's one of the tactics that the police do. Well, do they know what they're doing, or are they thoroughly misinformed? So I took out my phone and I looked up those 13 court cases, and I read them off to the police. And even the one guy was being such a wiseacre, and he turned up the squelch on his radio, and I even told him about it. And I said, oh, so you're just here to harass me, right? And you can talk to people like that. You can talk to the police like that. But I wouldn't call them names. You don't need to call them names. You just keep on, keeping on, doing what you're doing. And that is your protest. That is your objection. If they say they're getting out the handcuffs, they're ready to slam you on the ground, then say, if this is what you're going to do, then I will have to leave. But wait till they get the handcuffs out. But don't lip off to them. Do not provoke them. Do not carry your gun. I don't carry my gun when I go do activism. Okay? Although some places I might, if it's allowed. But in that park, it wasn't. So, okay, what was I saying? Oh, so the sheet of paper, I copied off 10 of those. You can copy it, put it on your phone, or you can print it out, copy it and paste it in a document, print out 10 of those documents, fold them up, put them right with you, wherever you are. You can have them like pasted to the back of the banner and just say, come here and look at this. Or you can have them loose and hand them to the police and say, look, hear this, read number 13, especially. I've said that to the police. And you have to have that information very handy. And you know what happens? After they realize that you're not giving up, they will walk away. And that is what has happened. You can also videotape them. That's your little intimidation back. That's telling them that you're not giving up. That they can stand there and they can, make noise and turn the people away. They told me I could come and hand out cards if I wanted to. But I couldn't have my banners up. And without the banners and those pictures, it's not as effective. It's really not. So if you have a banner that you can carry around, I'll bet you they wouldn't have much to say about that at all. So as a matter of fact, one of the things they said was, those banners are so big. Well, that really shouldn't have anything to do with it. Okay. I'm standing there and I'm able to handle those banners. Then they said, oh, well, don't attach it to the pavilion. Well, I have a bungee cord, stretchy thing, and I wrap it around the post and around the middle center of the posts of the banners just to stabilize it. That is not attaching. Look up the word attaching. In fact, when the police said to me, don't attach it, I said, oh, well, come here a minute. So see all these staples and nails in the post? Oh, well, then I won't use any staples or nails. Mine will not be affixed permanently. That's what attaching means. It's an affixed, it is affixed to be permanent. Intended to be permanent. Let me close this door. Okay, I can't talk right now. Sorry, my daughter just came home. So when you look up the words and you call them on their words and what they're saying, then you have power. Thank you, honey. You have power and something to come back at them with. And you don't have to be nasty about it. You be very polite and say, I looked up the word affixed and it means this. So they know you did your homework. You see, that's another indication to them that you're not just some unreasonable person, that you are here with a purpose. You are here on a mission. And that is why we need that mission statement. If there's something that you truly object to in that mission statement, I can't imagine what it is. But also put that in the chat. And I'm sorry, I did not pay attention here if somebody left a question. I'm very bad at this. I need a producer. That's what I need. You know, someone who can handle the production end of this. So, okay. Oh, I love you, team. That's great. Thank you. So, I think that's going to be it for today. But please send me an email with, if you are an activist and you would like to be interviewed on the topics I mentioned, such as how to handle individuals, how to handle the police, how to get started, okay, what things to say. And you can learn these things by watching our videos. But I'm telling you, I have come across things, and I watch my videos. I do. I watch my videos after. And I'm there, oh, geez, I should have said this, or, oh, I shouldn't have said that. And like the parade I just did, the parade, oh, I called that one guy an idiot. Oh, but you know, I'm only human. I'm sorry. But I try my best not to do that. And if you get to the point where you're feeling that you have to lash out, get out of it. Go take a vacation, get away from it, get on your knees and pray, talk to the Creator, whatever you want to call him, whatever you figure out he is, that's what you need to do, is connect. Take your shoes off, walk in the grass, on the earth. I know it's cold in Pennsylvania now. Wherever you are, take your shoes off. Every morning, when it was warm anyway, I would take my shoes off in the morning and go out and take the dogs for a walk around the yard in the grass in my bare feet. There's something to that. We live in an electric universe. Our world, our realm is electricity. I mean, vibrations. Our brains run on electricity. Synapses. When you learn about these things in health class, doesn't that like make you question? I mean, wow, we are such specially made beings here. And you have to know we were created. How they said we were like a mutation, all that was made up so that we would take vaccines with all this junk in it that's going to stop our synapses. You have to know that and make them all go kaflooey, and then they can control us like animals. And you know what? I watch the animal rescue videos. It just breaks my heart to see animals in distress. Whew. I'm a horse lover and a dog lover. I'm not so much a cat person. Although I like cats, don't think I want to own one. I used to. We used to have cats. But we had a cat and a dog. I was more the dog person. So, okay. Here I go. I talk and then I miss. Is there anybody that had a really important question or something? Well, please leave it in the chat and we will get to it next time. I am so happy that you came to join me, and I hope I enriched and enlightened you a bit. And I want to support you and encourage you and strengthen you and give you something that you can go out. I want to equip you, equipping you to go out on your mission. That's what I want to do for you. Okay. So thank you so much, and love you, my Flat Earth family. Okay, bye-bye.